Moz, you ready?
Yeah, Dero nimekaa fiti.
Yeah.
Ama nimeslouch sana.
Because Dero, you'll get yourself a chair ndio ukue comfortable. Ndio na shoot.
You happy?
But then umse akimove, wewe ndio na shoot Dero. Usiende huko kusearch kucheza ngoma. Okay, let me start. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another session of The Playhouse. Yani, I am super excited for this. A lot of you have been asking, hey, Richie, when are you going to have a DJ on the show? A lot of DJs have actually even asked me to be on the show, but for me, it was very important that I start with a foundational DJ. And when it comes to the gospel music industry, there is no DJ that has been there longer than the man that you are seeing on your screens. If you're in the gospel music and you're playing music, you stand on this guy's shoulders. Not only is he a DJ, he's a TV presenter, he's an entrepreneur, he's a media personality, he's a radio presenter, Nabado. He's so much more on top of that. We're at his digs, kids are running around. So if you see kids running in this shot, understand, we're just having a corona conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, put your hands together for none other than DJ Moz.
You're silly.
That's my intro.
I heard you talking, I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, you're looking around. Dude, first and foremost, thank you so much for finally coming to the Playhouse. Okay, let me shock you, Moz.
Yeah.
Technically speaking, you were one of my first guests ever on the Playhouse. When I worked at Google, and I called you to do that conversation.
Yes.
That was sort of like what has led to this becoming the Playhouse.
That was the birth of this.
That was the birth of this. At that time, I didn't even know it was a birth. I just wanted to have conversations. But now, look at where it's gone to.
I remember that one. I was with Anki Guta.
Yes, Anki Guta also came.
Were we?
No, you weren't together. It was just me and you. But Anki Guta came after.
Yeah. But I remember sitting on the same couch at Jazz's house. No.
That
was different.
Yep, that was different.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
okay.
and I also got to interview Jacko Dongo. How crazy is that?
Anyway, that's a legend now. That's a true legend, man.
You see, the fact that you know him means that even you yourself, you're a legend. Anyway, Moz, let's kick this off, man. First and foremost, what are your real names? On your ID, does it say DJ Moz?
Yeah, it says DJ Moz. So, no. My real names are Moses K Mathenge. That's my ID number is...
I know, it's okay.
Whatever.
You can keep your ID number. We don't need to know. Moz, I love starting the Playhouse. First of all, I love starting the Playhouse by asking a question, but for you, I'm going to start by honoring you and telling you the work that you have done to put the gospel, I don't even want to talk about the gospel industry, but to spread the gospel amongst the youth. There are very few people who have spread the gospel amongst the youth of Kenya like you have done.
Wow.
And even those of us who do it, a lot of us, if you hadn't done what you had done, we wouldn't be able to as effectively spread it. So for me, I want to start off by giving you your roses in the form of pizza and chicken wings.
You did well.
Finally. I paid that gift. So thank you so much for your sacrifice, because it's a sacrifice. I know the sacrifice you've made. Thank you so much for your hard work. Thank you so much for your consistency. Thank you so much, Yani. This is me standing up and saying thank you. Ooh, shucks.
Yeah.
I need not stand up. So let me get straight into it.
Let me say something first. It's, man, for me, it's not even really a sacrifice, Richie. When I consider what Christ has done for us, when I consider how, he chose to love an unlovable person and, even go to the cross, basically he says there's no greater love than this, that a man should lay down his life for a friend. And so, man, for me, it's like, it's the least I can do. In fact, I feel I haven't even done much when I consider what I have experienced from such a loving Father, such a loving Savior. So I'm just honored and privileged to be able to do what it is that I'm doing. And, thank you for the shout out, man.
Cool. There's a reason why I say it's a sacrifice, and we'll hear it in the story. So, Moz, I love starting by asking this question. When did you fall in love with music?
Oh, man. I fell in love with music as a kid. So, my brothers and sisters...
Are we talking about the 60s here?
You're funny. But my music actually goes back to probably the 60s, because my older brothers and sisters are way much older than me. And there's a 7-year difference between me and my brother, whom I fought, and I'm the last born at home.
How many siblings are you?
We are 5.
Okay.
But we lost my sister, who had such a huge influence in my life.
Yeah.
Wambo, but so saying that they helped me get to the space where I love music. I remember growing up, and we had a katan table in the house, and we had all these records, for both local and international music, from choirs like Akina Mungano to Akina Kamaro's music, to guys like Donna Summer. Actually, I used to listen to a lot of Donna Summer and Michael Jackson, and Bob Marley was like the ultimate, man.
Serious?
Bob Marley was, till today.
Uh-huh.
Like, I'll easily pick up my phone and be like, man, I need to listen to some Bob Marley.
What?
That guy is a true legend, man, because the songs that he wrote, they were so profound and so deep. I'm like, we don't have people who are doing this kind of music anymore. I mean, this is a guy who was from Jamaica, and he's talking about issues that we are going through as Africa. He did a song called Zimbabwe.
Yep.
And I was like, man, you've got to see. And I started appreciating that music as a young person.
Where are you at this time? Where were you born? Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Kangemi. So my mom and my dad were teachers. My mom used to teach at New Kihumbuni Primary School, and my dad was in a couple of schools because he was a headmaster. But we grew up living in a house at Kangemi Primary School. And so that's the place where I actually have a photo where I'm standing on a table, and there's a katan table right next to me. And in that space and listening to that music, I have never been in a space where I don't appreciate music, or music is not anywhere next to me. I remember in high school at Aga Khan.
Where did you go to primary? Kangemi now?
No, I went to Visa Oshol.
Visa Oshol?
Yeah.
And how was that?
Visa Oshol was amazing, man.
And at this time, are you still in love with music at Visa, or you're just doing what kids do? I
mean, at that time, I'm listening to music at home. You get into the matatus. The matatus had music as well. I remember my matatu used to take every morning going to school, called Exodus.
Matatu culture really helps music penetrate.
Dude, Exodus, man. So I used to take it at around maybe 7 o'clock, 6:30 in the morning as I was going to school. And the music, was amazing. It was fantastic. So that culture, like I've been surrounded by music all through. I remember in high school, when I was in Aga Khan High School, in Form 2, we used to have a free lesson on Tuesdays. And so what I used to do, I used to carry my Walkman to class and a speaker. And I would play reggae music for my classmates.
Yo. That was your first experience. Actually, that's your first experience of DJing.
Yeah. And man, we used to have, my cousin.
I like asking what year it is, just because if people are watching this in years to come.
Yeah, that's like in 93.
1993.
That's 1993. So I remember, my cousin-in-law, Tash, and big up to Tash. He used to, I don't know where he used to get his music, but he used to have like all the latest reggae music that's being released in Jamaica, man. So I was a huge reggae fan. Huge reggae fan, man. So all those guys, Natural Lights, Israel Vibrations, and who is it? UB40, and the likes of this guy from Cote d'Ivoire. What's his name? He did a song called Jerusalem. Alpha Blondy. He did that album with the Wailers, Bob Marley's band at that time. Bro, I had all that music and so much more. So before Kina Papa left here playing the music, that was like old school music to me by that time. But I've been very privileged and happy to have music surrounding me, and so even after high school and starting work, and again continuing in the matatu culture.
Don't even accelerate the story. So at this time, there's something that you've said for me. I'm just like, hold up. That is actually your first experience of DJing.
Yeah.
When you'd go with your Walkman, for those of you who don't know what a Walkman is, look at this. This is a Walkman. This on your screen. So you'd go with that Walkman and
Yep.
you'd so DJing is literally playing music for other people to enjoy.
Yep.
So this was your first DJing experience.
That was my first DJing experience, man. And you know, our class was rowdy. Form 2 Red was rowdy, man. But during that free lesson, it was very quiet.
Because guys are just enjoying it. Huh?
You guy, man. Some nice easy roots music, man.
Nice. That was and at this time, have you decided, have you decided what you want to do when you leave high school?
No. In Form 2, I was too busy enjoying life. Enjoying being with my friends and just being silly.
Are you born again at this time?
No.
You're not, huh?
Actually, not
Hey,
even
Moz, you weren't born again the way you guys are.
not even going to church, man.
Nada.
Once I finished class 8, I was like, Mom, I've done this thing for you. So I stopped going to church.
Yo.
Yeah.
Okay. Love the story. So now you finish your Form 4. What happens next?
So when I finished Form 4,
This is like 95.
this is 95 now. So, of course, we had to wait for 3 months before we got our results. So our results came out in March of 96. So I remember at that time...
3 months.
Oh, man. We used to wait for a long time for those exam results to come out.
Yeah.
You know, this was before Nani came on. Matiangi came in. Culture shock to the system. So,
I think even it was Kamotho. Kamotho maybe was...
Yeah,
Minister
DJ Kamotho was a Minister for Education, I
yeah.
think so, yeah. Oh, man, that's memories, Bana. And his sons used to come club where I used to DJ.
Digo.
Yes.
I know them very well.
So, so when I finished high school, I loved geography, and I loved chemistry. So when I finished high school, I was like, man, I want to go and study seismology. Basically, the study of the Earth's movement, like in the crust. You know, you can tell when earthquakes are going to happen. You can basically be able to inform guys about what's happening. Like now, probably guys would have maybe known what's happening with the tsunami that hit Sri Lanka a couple of years ago. So that's what I wanted to study. But then, so we had to wait. So when the results were released in March, I couldn't. I went to the notice board and I saw what I got. I got a C+. But then I still had a fees balance, so I couldn't get my results. So basically, but I knew at that time my folks could not afford to take me to college. You know, we didn't have the money for that. But God was very, very gracious to me. So basically what happened was 2 months later, my mom was able to get money and my dad, and they cleared my school fees, my balance of my school fees at that time at Aga Khan. And so my cousin's dad had passed away that April of after getting the exam results. So I went to Nakuru for like a whole month. And then when I was in Nakuru, so it's weird. I'm not a Christian, but somehow I used to talk to God, you know. And I remember sitting in Nakuru in Shabab and just being like, you know what, I'm going to go back home. I'll go to my high school, pick up my results because my school fees has been paid now. I don't have any more arrears, and go look for a job. I'll go to Westlands, I'll get a job, and then I'll get a single room, and this is what my room is going to be. So dude, I left Nakuru on May 1st, Labor Day. I came back to Nairobi. The next day, I went to Aga Khan High School, picked up my results slip, went to Westlands the same afternoon, went to the first place, hey, I just finished high school last year, but you know, I'm looking for a job. Do you have anything I can do? I'm willing to do whatever. And the guys were like, we don't have a job right now, but you can come back in a month and start. I was like, okay, thank you. Then I went to the next office and the guy was like, can you start now? And I was like, most definitely. It's not like I'm busy. So I took up the job.
What is the job?
So I used to do sales. We used to deal with high security locks. So we used to deal with hotels and security firms and banks. So this lock's called Abloy. That was my first gig, man. I did that for a whole year.
What?
And my boss at that time, Nizam Saliani, never forget him, man. So, I mean, we were really blessed at that time. I mean, here I am. I have no experience, but he walked with me through this. So for like a month, he was just teaching me the ropes. And I could assemble the locks. I could disassemble locks. And, he taught me how to talk to clients. So like guys like Wells Fargo and Riley, which are big security firms, go for meetings with guys like Standard Chartered, hotels, the government press.
What? Then he taught you how to pitch, literally, and also pitch, how to human interaction, sales.
Bro, he taught me, he held my hand, and he taught me how to do that. And basically, at some point, he let me run the office. So I'm a 19-year-old kid, managing an office with staff members who are way much older than me.
What?
And I'm the guy in charge. And I'm going to get sales.
So I know you moved into your one-room house.
I moved into my one-room house. Big up. Thank you so much, Akina Mama Monga, for giving me that room. And bro, it was exactly how I had seen it in Nakuru. So first, let me put a disclaimer out there that God also listens to non-believers. Let me just, because I was not a believer, man.
Yeah.
I used to know that God exists and I believed that Jesus Christ was there, but I had no relationship with him.
I get it.
And I used to pray. And I was lost.
That's crazy.
And I prayed and I was like, I'm going to go to Westlands, God just be with me. And he honored my prayer.
Exactly as you had seen it.
Exactly as I had seen it, bro.
But you know what's exciting about that story? Even though you got a job telling you to come in a month, it's like you still believed what you had seen, and you went to the next place and said, do you have a job? You've already gotten a job, I guess, when you come
back in a month.
But
and this was the first place was at the mall in Westlands. The next place was at Bishan Plaza. Now here's the funny thing. After the guy told me to start, I still went to another building to look for a job. And the guys were like, no, we don't have anything right now.
Yeah.
But I was just pumped. I was like, man, I'm just walking into people's offices and asking for a job.
That's cool. And that's also a lesson there. Step out.
Step out, man. Absolutely, step out. Bro, I had my only papers were my high school
C+.
papers. That's
it. Not even an A.
Not even an A, a C+. And my school living certificate that the guy didn't even look at.
Yeah. That's crazy. So now you're managing these guys?
So managing this place. And so at some point Nizam goes, he goes for his holidays. It takes a while, like 2 months, he doesn't come back. I'm running the office, still going to get deals and things like that. But then in 95, when I was in high school, I met one of my best friends. His name is Richard Lee. And Richie and I are boys to death. And Richie's from the UK. So they came for an exchange program when I was in high school in 95. And we just hit it off. We became boys, just like that, man. We started going to watch football games. We went to a game for Gor Mahia at City Stadium, and violence erupted. And we had to jump over fences. I mean, it was insane. We went to Gikomba looking for clothes. I mean,
You and this Jungu?
Yeah, me and this Jungu, bana. But we became so tight that after he went back to the UK after that visit, he came back and he came to stay with me in my crib.
Yo.
Yeah, in 96. And bro, we've met every year since that time.
What?
Every year.
That's crazy.
So, but I'm talking about Richard because, so in 97, I'm working at this office, and so Richard sends me a letter. So his dad was in charge of Londro. His dad was the managing director for Londro Hotels Africa. So let me stop my phone. It's vibrating over here. So let me just give it to Derek. Sorry. So Richard sends his dad with a letter for me. And so I go to Norfolk Hotel, pick up the letter, and basically he's inviting me to visit the UK. And I have no passport. I'm just a guy from Kangemi. And so Richie invited me to the UK, and so I went to apply for my passport. And the plan was we start a K-Krew business in the UK. So basically sending things over, and we just start a business to see what it is that we can do. So I went to apply for the passport. I got it, but the drama was, this was at the height of multi-party politics, if you remember. It was 1997, July, Saba Saba. Do you remember Saba Saba? Everyone talks about Kamukunji Saba Saba. I was in the streets of Nairobi at that time, going to the British High Commission to apply for my visa. That time there's drama in Tao. And the Mathris dropped, like, because I was from Kangemi, the Matatus drop in Odeon. You have to walk all the way to Upper Hill.
Yep.
And when I went to apply for my visa, the most amazing thing happened. When I got to the gate, let me tell you, man, God is amazing. When I got to the gate, Richie, I remember the security guard asked me my name. What's your name? I was like, Moses Mathenge. Wewe ndio unasubiriwa na mkubwa wetu hapa hivi?
What?
The guy in charge of the consular
was waiting for you.
Was waiting for me because he had received a letter from the UK, from the managing director of Laundry Hotels Africa, saying, "This is my friend. This is my son's friend. He's going to come and visit with us for 2 months. Please."
No way.
I was floored. Now remember, I had the option of not going to apply for my visa that day
because of the drama.
Because of the drama in Tao. The cops, the GSU, those are the days when GSU was called FFU. Fanya fujo uone. Not funua fanta unywe. Fanya fujo uone. As in, so anyway, I got to the consular section, and the guy was waiting for me. Within 30 minutes, I had my visa and I was out.
That's insane.
Walking through the streets of Nairobi and praying now.
Please, man, my passport can't go.
You can't. This is a precious commodity. This is a precious commodity, man. So anyway, I got the opportunity to travel to the UK.
So this is your first time leaving the country?
This is my first time leaving the country. I don't even been to Mombasa by that time.
Yeah.
So anyway, I get to the UK and first I'm blown away because when I got to the UK, it was like 7 p.m. But I'm looking outside, it's as bright
lights galore
as lunchtime here. So I was very confused. But that was the turning point.
Oh yes, it was winter. It was summer. Yeah.
So it was bright. It's 7 p.m. and inakaa hivi vile tunakaa saa hizi.
Yeah.
So Richie picked me up from the airport, went and we had this student house that we used to stay at. So Richie and all his wild friends in London. So it was a great experience. But that was a turning point for my life.
Why?
Because when I was there, I now radically fell in love with music.
Okay.
Like 100. 100, man. So now there was a radio station called Choice FM, and they had like the funkiest DJ called DJ Coffee. And on Choice FM, they just used to play hip hop and R&B. By that point, I'd already stopped listening to reggae.
So this is 1997.
This is 97 now. Oh man, I used to love listening to Choice FM, man. And DJ Coffee, like every day from 11 o'clock, you'd be there. That sold me out. I was like, this is what I want to do. Start collecting music, man.
Oh, that's when you started now.
That's when I started collecting music. So when I came back, I didn't even
So how long were you there for? 2 months?
No, I was there for 5 months. Because now, after the drama, basically what happened was the media in the UK, Sky TV at that point, Sky News, basically what they used to show is Kenya is burning. So I have to come back. There was no doubt in my mind that I'm coming back home.
Yeah.
That, this is home.
Actually, why? That's a huge one to ask. You are from Kangemi. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with Kangemi, but then you have this opportunity for a better life. Why? And for you, there was no doubt that this is just a visit.
This was just I always knew that I want to be in Kenya. I always knew I want to be in Africa. Let me say this. In that time, 97, people were exiting the country. Big time. Because now the world used to go and seek political asylum. It was the perfect opportunity to do that.
It was exit. Yeah. It wasn't that I'm coming back home. Those who were abroad were like, thank God I've gone.
Yeah.
Phew. Remember, Mo is in power.
Bro, that time it was drama. It was drama. Now, I live in Kangemi. So the first place for GSU to be dropped, I think, was probably Kangemi.
Yes.
It was a hotspot.
It
was a hotspot because now all the matatu guys, they used to start burning tires now on the road and put them on the road. And then the GSU used to come and follow guys to your house. They come and kick the door, man. It was, I remember my cousins rushing, going into the houses, hiding under the beds, or faking to be women.
What?
They rush. You rush to your house, you hepa, you go home, you change, wear a dress, and put on a kanga.
Wow.
It was the drama.
But your mentality was, this is a visit, narudi home.
All I did, I waited for the elections to happen. Immediately the elections ended.
Yes.
I was back.
Okay, let me ask you. You were there for 5 months.
Yeah.
Moz, how are you making money?
So of course there was no making money because you're not allowed to work.
Yes.
But then because of what expenses did I have? I had no expenses.
You were taken care of.
I was taken care of.
Which is really cool.
And Richie used to work. And I think the dad supported us a lot.
Yeah, and so what happened when? So you were literally just chilling and listening to music.
I was chilling, listening to music,
seeing
and visiting places, going to the markets and seeing what's happening in the different markets. There was a nice market I used to love going to called Camden Market.
Where in the UK were you at this time?
London.
Whoa.
In a place called Wanstead. So it's like in the east of London, but it's beautiful place, man. Beautiful place, Bana.
That's crazy. I tell you something very crazy.
Yeah.
At that exact time, I was also in the east of London.
Where were you, East Ham or West Ham?
Kingston. Sorry. How crazy is that? Anyway, so what did that experience of being in London do for you?
Many things, man. Many things. I got exposed to a lifestyle that I had no idea existed. First, I got to see gay people.
Yep.
And it was a shock to my system. That's a story for another day. Huge shock to my system. And then the clubbing world. I mean, we already started clubbing here. Immediately after high school, I went to the club the day I finished my Form 4 exams.
And which club did you go to? F2?
No, Bowling Green.
Yeah, I don't even know that.
Jungle over here up every city park. Yeah, that place used to happen, man. That place used to happen, Bana. So when I went to the UK now, I was like, now this is where the real party is. So we used to go clubbing, man. And I love the DJs, Bana. And I was exposed to all sorts of music, man. Also, drum and bass.
Yes.
Now there was more hip hop for me. There was R&B. There was R&B. Now if it's dancehall, I got the real dancehall experience, Bana.
Yep.
Because at that time Red Rat came out, Beanie Man came out.
Ooh.
Oh man. And Beanie Man came out together with Chevelle Franklin.
Yep.
She's the dancehall queen. Oh my gosh, that song was a big tune, man. There was a guy called Goofy and Red Rat. So all that music came out at that time. And of course in '97, for me, if you ask me, I was like, that was probably the best year for R&B, even in the secular world.
Yep.
Because like in the SWV, there was Jade, there was Jodeci, Casey and Jojo.
From the UK, there was not per se. Those people who became icons from the UK at that era was Mark Morrison.
Yes, Mark Morrison.
We're talking about Spice Girls were that era, 96, 97.
Yes.
Sholama, that Chile. Was it called Sholama?
I know who you're talking about. She was in my mind just now.
Yeah. So UK R&B scene was actually globally affecting the world.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially Spice Girls.
Yeah. Spice Girls
man,
were
they
huge.
Just
Take
blew
that.
Up. They just blew up, man.
Yeah.
And there's a group called Eternal as well.
Oh, Eternal, the three black chicks.
Yes.
They even ended up doing a song with BB
Winans.
Yeah.
And at that time, BB Winans did a song with them called I Want to Be the Only One. But us guys thought this is just a secular banger.
Exactly.
Such a big jam. I didn't even associate with the gospel circles at all. So as I was saying, it was when I was in the UK that, that the passion for really being a DJ checked in.
So now you're like, okay, this is what I want to do.
Yes.
Have you checked into that mindset?
I was like, this is what I want to do. So when I came back with all these singles. All these music, singles that were being released.
I need you to say that thing about singles because, and I'll touch a bit about it later on in your story.
Yeah.
But singles was such a huge thing that was not happening in Kenya.
No.
In terms of music being packaged as a single. Explain what a single is.
So basically, from an album, normally artists would
just hold on. Can the dog move a bit? Because
will I go there?
It's whatever in your mic. I'm hearing. Okay. So a single was, as artists at that time, they would go to the studio and record maybe one song, and they release it as a single, or it's a song off an album that was released. So you can release an album with the 12 tracks or 16 tracks. Those days guys used to do like 16 tracks. Or you can release a single off that album, and singles could be like 4 or 5. Exactly. As time progresses,
you keep
dropping a single off the album.
Yes. And now the singles used to sell like crazy.
And the singles came with instrumental.
and a cappella.
And also maybe sometimes a remix.
Yes.
But for a DJ, the
Yep.
reason why for me I know this is important for a DJ is because you got access to the instrumentals and a cappellas.
And man, that was not available to many guys here at that time. So when I came back, man, I came with singles, banner. And I saw an opportunity, and so I started selling this music to Kani, to New York, to Vibestar.
So when you say selling, you mean the single that you've bought?
The single that I've bought in the UK for £1 or £2.
Yes.
So I would come and sell it for £7.
I need to understand what you're saying. You're saying it's not duplicating. It's that exact CD that you have bought.
The original CD or the original record that I have, the 12-inch. So, dude, there's nothing about duplicating music, thinking about it even, man.
So you'd buy many singles. So for example, if it's Spice Girls Wannabe,
yes,
you'd buy 8 Spice Girls Wannabe singles.
Yep. And now the good thing was, Richie's dad used to come and visit here every month. So I'd have new singles every month.
You are the internet.
You could say that, man. Every month I had brand new singles. Now,
man, I keep interjecting, and part of the reasons why I keep interjecting is I always picture somebody watching this in 50 years, and them not understanding accessibility to music.
Yeah.
So part of the challenges that people in this country were facing, have it be, I don't even want to call them DJs, but just normal Kenyans.
Yeah.
There was no accessibility to these vinyls.
The one, I mean, you have to have some crazy connections to get the vinyls.
Okay.
The DJs somehow used to access it, but I mean, I had the space where I was accessing this music every month.
I know a lot of DJs maybe used air hostesses.
Yes. So you can imagine now when Master P is dropping his album. Yes. I had that. Dude, it was released like a week before. Like within a space of a week after being dropped, I had the album.
Yo.
When Snoop was dropping an album, dude, I had.
You're easy, you've got it.
I had the albums and I had the singles. So what I used to do now was, I remember even like albums like Dr. Dolittle. Do you remember? That had
the
such
soundtrack.
cool jams, like, from Timbaland.
Yep.
Oh,
that one was taking me back.
Oh man. Flashback. Anyway, so I used to have all these singles and I used to distribute them to the clubs. Now, there's one place that I constantly supplied music to. There's a guy who used to run the mobile units at JK's in Westlands, the pub in Westlands. So he bought 90% of the music that I had, I used to bring in.
What? So do you have a job, or is this your job now?
This is not my job. I don't have a job for sales.
You're not going back to padlocks?
No. And it's a story for another day, man.
Okay, so cool.
Maybe I'll catch up with Nizam at some point and, see if we can finish this, Nizam.
So, no, but what you're trying to say is when you came back from the UK...
This is my 9 to 5 now. This is what I'm doing.
You're flocking music.
That's it.
Okay.
So now I'm sending music. I'm selling music to this. So as much as I'm selling to Kani and to New York and to Vibestar, and those were like the main clubs, and now JK's. So the guy at JK's used to buy 90% of the music because JK's used to focus on R&B, hip hop, and dancehall.
Okay, let's talk about JK's a bit, just to give people context.
Yeah.
Especially those who do the clubbing scene. So there's Electric Avenue.
Yes.
The number one club in Electric Avenue at that time
was JK's.
Before Crooked Q's, before all of these guys, there
so
was
JK's was the only one.
Oh, JK's was the only one.
Then Crooked Q came. And where Adrian started DJing, I can't remember the name of the place where Adrian started DJing. They were all on the same street, Woodville Avenue.
Yes, Electric Avenue.
So there's Electric Avenue where there's Mpaka Lane and Woodville.
Oh, yes.
So this all started on Woodville. So at JK's,
JK's is the brick one, the one, the brick building. Yeah.
So PJ used to DJ there. Like all the legends, that we know, were all at JK's.
and you are supplying music to who?
So I'm supplying music now to the guy who I think eventually picked up from Akina from Akina Pinyin. And
Do you know his name?
Ken.
So Ken was the DJ at JK's.
Ken owned the mobile unit.
Tell us about
Then
the
he
mobile
had-
unit. I'm not understanding that.
So Ken owned the equipment, you know, all the DJ machines, the music was his, the sound system was his, and the contract was his to make sure that JK is rocking.
Oh, because DJs don't per se have equipment.
Yes. Now, he had hired a DJ called Jero. DJ Jero, man. You know, may God bless your family. Jero passed away a couple of years ago. So, I'm selling music to Ken. So JK's is happening, man. JK has always happened.
This is insane. You know, Moz, again, things have changed so much that I didn't understand that per se DJs didn't even have equipment to DJ with.
Many DJs didn't have equipment. Like, you had to go to someone who owns the whole set, like sound systems and the decks. They come set up for you. All you do is you mix. And you get your cash and you pay the guy their money.
So now you used to supply to Ken.
So I used to supply the music to Ken. So what happened was, in 1998, the bomb blast. So August 7th, 1998,
Bomb blast.
the bomb blast. And I think that this completely changed our life as Kenyans. We lost so many people, over 200 people died. I was in Kangemi, and we were listening to Capital FM at that time. Capital, man, was like the station to listen to. And I think it was Phil Matthews used to do the breakfast show, if I'm not wrong. And then at 10 o'clock, not Eve D'Souza, but this lady who went to work for...
Madhani Buika.
No, she went to work for CNN.
Pinky Gilani.
No.
Oh. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. This one. This lady, it's okay.
Anyway,
This one on the screen.
yes. So we're listening to Capital FM. And
Zenvaji.
Zain Bergy.
Yes.
So I think Zain Bergy used to come at 10 o'clock. So we're listening to Capital FM and the ground shakes. I mean, Kangemi bana. And so my friend Modho says, Nini may happen. And within a few minutes later, we hear there has been a bomb blast explosion at the US Embassy, downtown Nairobi. So my best friend, Meju, who we stay with in the same crib, works right next to the US Embassy.
Cooperative building.
Not
Or around there.
Around there. He used to work in a building. It's so funny how God connects pieces. He used to work in a building for Kenya National Examination Council. He used to work for NEC. And so NEC, the offices in town were next to the Co-op Bank, Bell Bottom building in town, which is next to the US Embassy. And guess who his colleague was? The owner of the mobile unit at JK's.
Whoa.
This guy whom I'm selling music to.
Yeah.
So after the whole thing settles down, a month later, Ken calls me and he's like, Moz, this whole thing has shaken my life. Because basically his office, the window for his office was facing US Embassy.
Oh my God.
And basically the distance between his office and the US Embassy was maybe maximum 30 meters. It wasn't far.
Crazy.
So Ken calls me and he's like, Moz, this whole thing has shaken my life.
I mean, just to explain to people, the bomb blast even shattered windows in Afia Center, which was a bit away.
Yes.
You get?
How Ken survived?
So now how Ken is next, you're talking 30 meters.
How Ken survived, it can only be explained it's God's protection. He had some bruises. So, and I think his ears were ringing. So he calls me to his office and he's like, Moz, I think I'm done with this thing for JK's. I want to change my life completely. When I sit and I think about what has happened, I can only explain that this is God. And so I think I'm done with this. And so I want to ask you first, would you be interested with buying my entire mobile unit from me and you take over the contract at JK's? That's how this whole thing, yeah. So we bought the mobile unit from Ken. So I got back all my CDs from him. And I got the sound system. I got the decks.
You're like, hallelujah.
It's insane. It's insane, man. But there's a journey. It's God connects the pieces. So here I am now. I'm excited that we're getting the contract. I mean, because I used to go party at JK's now. So when
were you drinking?
No, I've never drunk.
You just music.
It was just music. I've never smoked. I've never drunk. I can't tell you how it feels to be high. I used to try and drink some spirits with my boys. Take some Smirnoff, or when Amarula came out, I tried it, but I've no experience. I can't tell you how it feels to be high.
What? Moz, I can't remember JK's because I entered high. I'm joking. I'm not joking.
I remember now.
But JK's was, the core of entering there was...
Yep. And when I was at JK's, I used to have an allowance for drinks. And I never touched it.
What?
Never bothered.
Hey, Moz, your stories.
I've never had the desire for those things.
And when talking, this is before Christ. So it's not some spiritual vibe that we're trying to throw in here.
Nope.
Although there is an element of spirituality when you think about it.
Of course.
Yeah.
Because I can see God connecting all the pieces.
Yeah. But
So,
now you can see because you're looking backwards.
They say vision is always clear in hindsight. It's when you look back that it becomes clear to you.
Yeah.
But when you're going through it, it doesn't make sense at all.
Okay, so let's continue with this story. Ken, now you buy the equipment from Ken.
So my sister and I, Wambo,
Uh-huh.
we buy this mobile unit from Ken. So at this point, I'm already a DJ, because as I'm selling music to these guys, I had hooked up with a guy who we became really tight. He's called Pascal. We finished high school together, and Pascal used to do mixes for like all the batteries for Kangemi. So whenever they used to have weddings, or they used to have a place I used to go DJ, I used to go hang out with him, carry the records with him, carry his crates and turntables. So this was like the only family that I knew that that had everything in their house.
Yes.
So they had the decks, they had the sound system. So when we got the sound system when we got the mobile unit for JK's, so now I had my own things.
Yeah.
I had my own things. But let me tell you something interesting that I should have mentioned probably earlier. When I was working for this company, it was called Locks Limited. When I was working for Locks Limited and I used to take them at threes, the one desire that I had was to own my DJ machines. And the desire that I had was that when I buy my machines, I just when I come back from home and when I come back from work and I'm tired, I just DJ for myself just to rest easy. And so these do not get fulfilled until after the bomb blast.
So even before going, that means even before going to UK, because you work for the Lock things before going to UK, you had this passion for DJing.
Dude.
You have it be for yourself, but it was there.
It was there because now
that's a very specific ask.
Let me tell you, man, there's one mathri I used to take in Kangemi, KBP. No, KAP or something like that. So Davey was the driver. And the music was always so well equalized. The sabi liko sawa, the tops ziko hapo hivyo ziko sawa. The music was always fantastic, man. Akina Kenny Latimo. I mean, it was excellent. So I used to ask Ken. I used to ask nani Davey. Hey, Davey, nani kutengeneza mixtape zako? And he's like, ni mseo tu mtamcheki hapa. Ile siku atakuwa kwa mathiri na uko hapa nitakwambia. So it was a guy called Pascal. Pascal and I finished high school the same year.
Same school?
No, he went to Highway.
Okay.
He went to High. So I was like, it's this guy. We're age mates. And he's doing this. That's why I wanted to buy the decks.
I hear it.
And have them in my house for myself. So Ken anyway says, do you guys want to buy this? So my sister and I, Wambo, and Wambo is the one who was saying, passed away. So we conjure up the cash and we go ahead and buy the equipment. So we got the contract for JK's. Everything continued. And we continued with DJ Jero.
So you employed
I employed Jero now.
So what I'm hearing is now you are in charge of the party music.
Yes. And now let me tell you though, this guy called Jero is the one guy whom I can credit for now for like my foundation, the proper foundation for mixing. he told me, Moz, you always have to wait for the sweet spot. Never be in a rush to change the music. Always wait for the sweet spot. Jero was bad news, man.
What did he mean when he said wait for the sweet spot?
That when you're playing a song, there's always the right place where the mix is supposed to start. Wait for that place.
And how do you know that place?
Because you need to know the song. You need to know your music.
Uh-huh.
You need to know, Yani, this song will go best with this song.
Uh-huh.
And this is the right place for me to start the next song.
I get.
Yani, just sitting and learning from Jero was a big one for me.
So now he taught you the art of DJing.
He taught me the art of DJing.
Yo.
And I was not using turntables, I was using CDs.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because that's what Ken had. But those decks and being a JK's was a life-changing moment for me, man. So
now you are, I'm trying to understand this, because what you've talked about is a bit crazy in terms of okay, in the Kenya scene, who else is there?
So there's Homeboys, Akina John.
Mm-hmm.
It was funny, man. Sometimes Akina John used to come and party at JK's. They leave their gigs and they come party at JK's. I mean, JK's was happening.
JK's was the joint.
JK's was the joint, man. That place used to get so packed.
Mm-hmm.
The pool tables are packed. The staircases are packed. The parking is packed. So guys are coming to buy booze and then they go back to their cars outside. But the thing is, this music was so loud that even the guys who were down there,
you're enjoying.
They could hear the music.
Oh man!
I'll never forget how some guys used to come and party, and like when Lauryn Hill dropped her album Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, and I remember this one girl just used to come and she lies down, puts her head under the sub and just chills there. I have no idea what she was drinking, man.
Just to listen to the music.
Just to listen to the music, man. It was insane. I mean, the place was insanely packed. And but the thing is, I mean, it was happening. It was a party atmosphere. It was a happening place. And I remember some days when we used to go for weddings, and we used to ask Adrian to come and DJ for us at JK's.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I got to meet Adrian as well.
Adrian at this time is on Q's, is his capital.
He hadn't started Q's.
Okay, he hadn't started Q's.
He hadn't gotten a gig at that time.
Okay.
And man, Adrian is a solid guy, man. That guy, he's never changed from the day I met him.
It's crazy.
He's a solid guy, man. And I have to give him some mad props. Adrian, man, you're a good guy, man. Thank you for all the days that you bailed us out. And I mean,
you have a wedding.
We have a wedding. And those days weddings used to pay well.
And you only have one gear. You haven't gotten other.
I don't have any other gear. So Adrian used to come and hold it down for us.
What?
Yeah.
Who else were you employing?
This is Jero. This is Jero.
Once in a while. No, but what I'm hearing, once in a while, Adrian will come and bail you out.
Yeah, but see, Adrian now would take our cash from the
whole thing.
From JK's now that night.
Yeah, but who else would you call to bail you out? Or it was
just Adrian, man.
Just Adrian, eh?
You guys, the only guy who could do who had what we had.
Mm-hmm.
And now Adrian had turntables.
I get.
Adrian never used to use CDs.
What?
Adrian had turntables. I
still see it like he doesn't. I've been watching him on his lives.
Yeah, so I'm watching Adrian now on Capitol, and I'm like, man, it's so nostalgic. Because, he goes and he removes an album.
A vinyl.
And, he shows guys the record, and I'm like, man, I remember some of these jams.
Oh my God! Now, okay, I'm going to tell you something. In fact, let me tell you. You know where you had me first?
Mm-mm.
You had me first being played by DJ Adrian on Capitol.
What?
As a star, and that's what made you call me. Anyway, we'll come to that.
Wow.
But now I'm
because I remember that show. I was in a cyber.
So you and Adrian go way back like this.
We go way back.
It's not your relationship started this time.
In fact, we probably started DJing at around the same time.
Is Pinyin in the mix at this time?
Oh, Pinyin, man, is legend. we all want to be like Pinyin, man. Hey, yeah. Pinyin is another guy who I have to give him mad props, man. Pinyin is a solid friend. Solid guy, man. And people don't understand Pinyin's passion for excellence. Pinyin will never compromise on the quality.
Yep.
And that's something I picked up from him.
A lot of guys have beef with Pinyin for not playing him on the beat. And I have a different, because I hang out with Pinyin, so I have a different perspective of why he would do it. Even though I understand the artist's perspective, I also understand exactly what you've said right now.
Yeah. And let me Pinyin.
But one day he'll be here. I've been asking him for a long time.
You should have him on.
Yeah.
Pinyin will never compromise on quality.
And this started then.
This, as in, dude.
This is the Pinyin that you know.
This is the Pinyin that I know. So he's not trying to change, he knows his ways. And he'll always push you for excellence.
So when even as a DJ, he used to do that.
Bro, so let's not fast forward, because I come to Pinyin at some point. Because I got the opportunity to work with Pinyin for maybe around 1 year.
Okay.
Yeah, so, but I'll tell you when this happened.
No, but at this time you're saying, DJ-wise, you're like, Pinyin is the epitome of where we want to get to.
Pinyin, and then Homeboys, like in a DJ John used to do some things. Yeah. As it just brings great memories, man. But do you know who else used to come and hang out at JK's? You won't believe this, man.
Who?
He is one of the legends that we have, and a serious hip hopper. DJ Styles. Styles used to come to JK's. Constant whenever he was in the country. Because I think, I could be wrong, but I want to say that I think he was in school in Canada, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, he was.
Styles, maybe you can confirm.
He was. No, he was.
So whenever he was home during
Canada
the holidays.
Canada or the States, one of the two.
Yeah, whenever he was at home during the holidays, Styles used to come to JK's. And he always used to ask me to play a jam called Mathematics. And I think it was by Capone and Noriega. As guys were hip hop heads, man. So Styles, he was one of the guys who used to come regularly to JK's. But at that time, we were not many DJs who used to play this kind of music, man.
That's crazy.
We were not many.
Were you DJing? Did you have the opportunity to DJ, or were you just leaving it all to Jerry?
No, I got the opportunity to DJ.
Even at JK? So sometimes you DJ?
Oh, yeah. I mean, dude.
It's your equipment. You love music.
Yeah, but there was something about listening to Jero Mix.
Yeah.
There was something about listening to Jero Mix, man. That guy knew his music.
Okay, I love this. Most the reason why I've made a sort of dwell on this is because if I was to interview somebody like Styles about the party scene or Pinyin, everybody has to mention JK's. There's some clubs you have to mention Visions, JK's, you have to mention Skani, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In terms of the Kenyan party scene, you have to mention Kengeles.
Yes.
And I know that's where Homeboys were.
Yes, Homeboys were at Kengeles.
So JK's is one of those pillars. Where does the story go now from here?
So basically, it's interesting how now a major transition for my life. So when I was at JK's, it's like God started tugging my heart.